it is time once again for Workshop Wednesday, where we're going to start working on a really weird project tonight. Something I've been looking forward to making progress on. It's my Khan Badge Samurai Armor. So these are a bunch of Khan badges from a whole bunch of conventions over time. Otakon, Katsucon, Anime Mid-Atlantic, Anime USA, Gen Con. And I'm going to essentially attach these to this shirt, actually. So this is a long sleeve black shirt, and I'm going to sew these onto this as armor, if you will, in the style of samurai armor, much like this. So I'm going to make it look kind of sort of like this armor you see here, and we're just going to have to see how that works out, how that's going to look. And I've been playing around a bit with thinking about how to do this, because as you probably saw before, I had a video some weeks back where I just sewed things onto a random shirt and saw that, okay, they hang fine. But the problem I was thinking about is the shoulders. So let's zoom in here a bit on this armor, and you'll see one of the problems we have here is with the shoulders. So we have these shoulder pads, and then armor that basically goes along the sides. And the problem is, if I have, a badge like this, and it's here, as soon as I move my hand, that's going to flop all around, right? And it's not going to sort of stay. I want it to stay on the side as I move up and down, but be relatively mobile, and more importantly, I don't want to destroy this badge. I don't want to modify any of my badges. So I could resolve this by punching a hole in the bottom of the badge and then sewing it in both places, but I don't want to do that. So I have a solution. First, let me get this off, because we'll be manipulating this in a few minutes. And the solution you can kind of see here laid out on the bench. Let's just go ahead and get rid of that. So I've got here some washers, some magnets, and some buttons. What I'm going to do is I'm going to sew one of these badges on a sleeve, and then I'm going to sew a button on the sleeve underneath sort of the bottom middle of that badge. So there will be a button, under here, and onto that button I'm going to glue a washer. Okay, makes sense so far? So there'll be a washer with a button underneath it, and then I'm going to take a magnet and put it on top of those. So the magnet will hold the badge onto the washer that's glued onto the button, and that should kind of resolve that issue. The other advantage is if I screw up, because the washer has a hole in it, I can always go in and tear out the thread and remove a button if it turns out to be a problem later on. So this is all something that I can then fiddle with, muck about with, and change without destroying any of my badges. And one of the things I was noticing about these, let's just kind of come back to our image here, is that they have these sort of epaulettes. So there are these, bits of armor on the shoulders, and then down here. I noticed that two of my Otakon badges have these little things on the bottom indicating I was a return panelist. And they're the same size. And I think these are going to work rather well as those things. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to try sewing probably one of these on a shoulder, and then one more of these on kind of going down on the sleeve to indicate and get a sense of how well this is going to work. Now, obviously, the armor here goes all the way up underneath that, which probably wouldn't work quite as well. So I'll fiddle around with this. It doesn't have to look exactly like this armor, but I think I have an idea of how this is all supposed to work. And so we're going to try it and see what it looks like. So we'll start off with this. So here's the top of my shirt. There's the tag. So I'm just going to go, and I believe, okay, so there's a seam there. All right, so I just need to get a sense. First thing to do, actually, is I'm going to move all of my badges except for that one. I'm going to throw those into a bag and just move them out of the way. Okay, so I have just the one badge to work with. Actually, I want the other badge, because this one has a wide hole there. You can kind of see. Can you see that? It's hard to see. But there's a wide thing there, whereas this is just a circular hole right there, and that's going to be easier to sew. So I'm going to start with that one. Actually, no. Go with the hard one first. We'll go with the hard one. Okay. So, unfortunately, this is not exactly on that seam. It's kind of right here. So I know I need to sew in kind of right in there. So, let me grab my thread, black thread, this black bobbin here. Actually, I have 2 black bobbins, I think. Yeah, and that black bobbin is getting close to being done, so kind of nice to finish that out. I do know I generally benefit from having a lot of thread. So we're going to go there on the thread. I need scissors, which are right over here. And so first thing will be to sew one of the, ooh, needle came right out. Is this a usable needle? Should be. Let's try threading that. Seems like a very small hole. Can I get it in? I can. What do you know? First try. It's a little scary. Okay, and then we will spin it, twist it. All right, so there's our needle, and then we will tie off the end of our thread with a simple knot. So there, so we get a loop, and then we're going to try to make another knot such that it exactly overlaps that loop, which quite conveniently, if I can get this to fit right, will result, not going to work. There we go. So we have, it's a little smaller than I wanted, but it's a small loop, and that will catch right on our fabric. So I want the epaulette to be pretty close up. So I'm going to start it like right here. Boom. All right, so there's the start of it. There the needle comes out. And then we'll grab a, yep, there's our thing. Let me pull out that little piece of metal. Keeping it in place. Come on, get out of there. There we go. Okay, then we thread our needle with the button, or thread the button on the needle. All right, so we're starting. Okay, so there's, oops. Okay, so there we are. I want to make sure I'm pretty close to the metal there. And then I'm going to thrust my needle back through, trying not to poke myself. And then come up. And then now it's a matter of going back and forth. So I'm going to try to do this and sort of go crosswise. So I'm going to do an X, basically. So I go up through 2 holes, then come back through the other 2 holes diagonally, is kind of the pattern I'm going for here. And that's a pretty, as I understand it, a pretty secure kind of a stitch. And we just go back and forth multiple times. And the more times you do it, the more secure it is. And I'm just kind of going by feel here, trying to get into these holes. Oh, wrong one. There we go. appear to have done one wrong because it's not crossed. Oh well. M's the brakes. You want to be careful here you're not catching your fabric and looping it in. Let's see here. We'll go from here. If I can find it, find that hole. There it is. And then we go in here. Do that one. And it was really hard to see because we're black on black. But maybe I'll zoom in here in a moment. Is that? Yep, that's right. Unfortunately, I don't have a cameraman to make this easier for you all to see. Wish I did. So let me see if I can't do a little bit of zoom in here. Zoom. That's better. I think we can actually pull it down a bit. Yeah. So, just gone in that way. So now we're going to come back here. Poke that through. Oh, there we go. I'm going to poke this through here, if I can find a hole. Where are you? There's the button. Okay, there we go. It's going through that hole. Comes up. Whoop. Yep. There we go. Then we're going to go down through the opposite hole, the one diagonally across. Push that through. And we're sewing. So let's do 2 more, I think. 2 more passes. Oh no, I'm doing this wrong. This is in the wrong position. This is where it should. This is where I should be sewing in the badge. Dang. Okay. Well. So here's the good thing. I'm tugging on this, and it's really tightly in there. So that tells me there's just 2 or 3, movements here are enough. But I think it's going to be easiest. Yeah, I'm just going to have to cut that. So I'm going to take my scissors and just score along those threads to tear them and cut them. Hopefully that will be enough to kind of tear it off. No, it's not working. So I will need to go in here, kind of pull these threads away. I actually have I had a small pair of scissors in here. I think I got rid of them because they were cheesy. Yeah. Okay. So this is another one of the reasons why I'm doing all of this in a way that is non-destructive, because now I just pull that thread out. Oops. We will remove. I'm going to need to. Oh, there we are. So now I should be able to just tug on these pieces of thread and remove them there. And we're back to normal. So that's fine. All right. So that was I won't say a waste of time, but that was not what I wanted to do. So let's go back to what we wanted to do. We want to sew this on here. Okay. So, literally. Let's go back to our thread. I think this will be long enough. And again, we're going to tie a loop on the end. There's probably a better way of tying a loop on the end, but I haven't found it yet. So again, we create a loop like that, and then we make another knot. The other problem is I'm just not used to how I work best with these things, whether I should hold something in one finger or the other, or one hand or the other. And then we try to pull this in such a way that it meets and creates a knot, square knot right there. There we go. So that is a loop. I'm pulling on that really tightly. So as soon as the fabric comes to this spot, this, if I'm threading fabric along this, it'll come to here, and stop at that knot right there. At least ideally. So, I know I'm going to need to put... I should have some chalk. I will grab some chalk at some point. So I need to go that right there. Let me just push the needle through pretty much where I need to go. That seems about right. I'll pull that through. Sorry about that. So that is just a position I've chosen. Okay. And then I'm going to thread the badge onto there. Okay. And then I'm going to go back. I want to make sure I'm holding it kind of tightly, or I am holding it tightly onto there. And I don't want a lot of pulls in the fabric, because I want to go back right above this and sew in there and basically make a loop there. So the idea here is to, I think I'm going to try to do, is do basically, so I'm going to do a bunch of loops here around this end of this loop, and then I'll do a bunch of loops over here on this end of the loop. So if I do a bunch of thread here and a bunch of thread here, it should stay in place. Okay. And on your first couple of loops through here, it's going to be a little tricky because it's loose. So it's going to want to flap all around. If it's flapping all around, then it can't actually, you're not actually going to put it where it needs to go. You're going to get binds in the fabric and stuff like that. And these are just things I have noticed. Why am I not getting that in here? There it is. Go up a little higher maybe. Okay. So there's that thread going through there. Again, I want it in basically the same spot. I'm just going to be looping over and over and over the same spot, so it's securely held on this end of the fabric, this end of the badge, and this goes here. And of course it will, the badge itself will kind of move around somewhat as you're doing that, because it is loose. There's nothing to hold it on the other end. So that's not too big of a deal. I'm going to try to make this nice and tight. Lots of loops. So let's, oops. There it is. Good. We're getting there. We're getting there. So I think another couple of, ooh, good. One of my 3D prints is done. Another couple of stabs here, a couple of loops, and we'll be good to go. What am I not? I keep hitting, there's that. Just came over a bit too much, a bit too far. Okay. There goes this. And you'll notice I started within the shirt. So I came in from the bottom of the shirt. That's because there will be a tag here. There will be a little bit of thread on the end, in other words. Oops, what am I doing here? What did I just do? I just loop around the wrong way? I think I did. Yeah, I did. Okay. I made a mistake. See if I can reverse that. Don't think I can. Can I pull? I won't be able to pull this thread back through. What will happen if I do, though? It's probably just going to unthread the, yeah, it was unthread the needle. That's okay. Oh, we thread the needle. Okay. So what I did there is I accidentally looped it back around, and I was basically trying to sew over the shirt, which is not what I wanted. Okay. So again, this is just to get this epaulette kind of in place, and then we can do the rest of it. And it's trying to go in. There it goes. Okay. Then we spin it round, baby, spin it right round. Okay. So that's there. This is going to go in up here. Yeah, so I think one more loop, and that will be sufficient. Oops. Helps put it in the right place. If I can just find the right place. Nope. Nope. There we are. Okay. And then this will go in up here. And then I'm going to flip this over. See if you'll be able to see this. So here's the underside of that. And you see there's a whole bunch of thread there. So I'm just going to loop this in like this and just run that needle through to get some extra strength. And I'll go even further. Oops, that's not going to work. That's not going to work either. There we go. Go way through. Oops. I wanted to go past that. Okay, so I'm just running this all the way through here. And then we'll cut that off. Okay. So there's one part of one side of that. So again, now we need to go make sure this is where we want it to be. Kind of shift it a little bit. That's not good. Ah, it popped right off. Dang it. It broke. So there's a break in the badge right here, and it slipped right off of my my little fabric loop. So I'm hoping if I do this, I can get it back on there. I can run it right back through those loops of thread. And then I will glue this back in place, if that'll work. It's working. It's working. Not all wanting to go on. And sometimes they're getting caught. But I think I've got a bunch of them. That one should go. There we go. Okay. And actually, once I sew the other side on, it will hold. It has to hold. It will hold. All right. So, we need another loop on the end of this. So as before, let's get to the end. Create a loop. Oops. Didn't pull that around right. Come on. Okay, now the thread is being difficult. Pull that through. Okay. And then loop this around. Take it through there. And then pull this down there. There's our little loop. Okay, good. Now, I'm just going to twist that a little bit more, and we begin. Right, I want to put this way over here on this side, even further, far. Okay, yeah, there we go. So now we're coming through on that other end. poke in the top. Poke in. Ow. Didn't draw blood, I don't think. We'll see. Oop. That seems awfully short. Why are there two threads here? What did I just do? Ah, okay. That's odd. Okay. And then we repeat. So we're going to go back in, same spot. We're as close to that spot as we can get. Do that. Come out. And back around. Now I'm noticing that the very stretchy nature of this fabric is causing this to flop around quite a bit, despite how far apart these things are. So I may end up having to glue that spot. Also possible that it wasn't as yeah, I could go further apart on this. Oh, the other loop is loose. Why is that? Why would that be loose? That's very strange. Anyway. It's an experiment. Experiments don't always work out. That's why they're experiments. So I'm going to go way over here. And I'm going to kind of keep moving this further to one side and kind of try to make this as try to make this kind of stretch the fabric somewhat. I'm also kind of getting my fingers all over this my name, which was in Sharpie and is not really designed to have a hand constantly over it. So that might have an effect. Okay. Yeah, as that bunches, it moves those together. So that just means I have to be a little more careful. And I will definitely glue that little spot back on. So we'll make sure that this breakage here is fixed with some glue once we get this sewn on. And then we'll start working on that button. This is definitely a, oops, did I do it again? Oops, I did it again. Did I? Yep, I did. Doing the wrong thing. Okay, but that feels pretty solid. So I'm going to go ahead and rethread my needle. Get that fairly close. And try to push it through. And there's a little thread on the end which is butting up into it and being difficult. Très difficile. So I may have to cut this. We'll try cutting it. Not sure if that'll make it any easier. Seems like it will. Okay. Still being troublesome, but it seems a little easier. This is where things start getting a little frustrating, just because of the slow progress. Maybe it should be the other way around. Let me try spinning it. Maybe it'll work better if it's going the other way. Nope. Ah, there it goes. It's going in, but it's not happy about it. Nope, bounced out. Come on. Okay, it's kind of jamming in there. It's funny, I got this thread in, what, 2, 3 times now with no problem? And now all of a sudden, it's like it refuses to cooperate. It just bounces right off of the eye of that needle. Wow, yeah, I'm really pushing that in, and it's just refusing to go. All right, let me try choking up. Come on. There must be a device that will automatically thread a needle. Somebody must have solved this problem. Okay, is that it? Is that it? Yeah. Yay. Okay. And this is just so I can, sew this off. Which is funny because I didn't really need to. Oh well. So, you know what? Now that I have it, let me just do one more pass through here just to make it a little extra secure. There. Okay, then as before, I'm going to take this and run it through some of the existing thread. Do that again, just to kind of tie things off, give it some extra stability. And then we kind of run it through 2 spots to there. Pull it through and then trim that. Okay, so before we go any further, let's fix that bit. This glue might be dry. So what I want to do now is just apply some super glue to this here. Maybe add a super glue in this. Yeah, I'm not seeing any flow. Okay. Fortunately, I have a new one. So we that out. Punch that open. Put the cap back on. And then we will carefully dab. We have to push it through. Push the air out. There it comes. And then carefully dab a bit of the gel on there. Okay. That should be enough. You don't want to go too crazy on that. Good. So where's the rest of my stuff? There's my button here. Yeah, there's my button. So then next thing we'll do, we'll give this a few moments to dry. Why is this not? 1 second. Did that cook correctly? No, it did not. It is not happy at all. That's interesting. Huh. Okay. Well, I can live with that. Let me work on that. So, just getting a 3D printer back set up. So next we'll be figuring out where the button goes, sewing the button on, gluing the the washer onto that, and then trying the magnet and hoping the magnet sticks through the badge. That's what we'll have to find out here once we sew that button on. Does this have enough thread for a button? I think maybe if we go a little bit, if we kind of choke up on the thread a bit, we should have enough. So while we're waiting on that, I'm going to go ahead and knot the end of my thread as before. Try to conserve some thread here. Pull that through, and then do the same thing. Yeah, now I need to kind of flip that around so I can manipulate this more easily. And then pull that through. Woo. Ah. So this needs to be here. So I can spin that around, baby right round, pull it through, and pull it down to there. There we are. There's our loop. I believe it's starting to... Ooh. Uh-oh. I have jam. Maybe. It sounds like a jam. Yeah, it's a jam. Alright. Can I pull that out? I can. One moment. Actually, I want to put white in here. That's what I will do. Clear it with the white. And then this goes in here, and we will take care of that, and we will hope that that is a reasonable thing. We'll actually be able to, and it's sounding better. I'm not hearing that click anymore, so hopefully that was enough to clear that jam. We don't want jams. We don't like jams. I like jam, but not jams. Meanwhile, I'll get this filament loaded in the other machine. Hopefully, it will cooperate. There we go. Start playing around with that. Okay. Again, I'm still waiting for that super glue to dry. So we might as well pause here for a few moments. I mean, super glue dries pretty quickly, but I sure do not want to brush my hands against that while it's still tacky and super glue my hand to a con badge. That'd be pretty annoying. Alright, so that's coming out nicely. Good. So now I can, whoops, not what I wanted, but that's alright. Now I can tell it to print. Doesn't have one of those on there? There it is. And this, ooh, back. Yeah. That's okay. Good. So let's try printing. No, that kind of killed it, so I don't want to do that. Do I have anything to print on here? I do technically. Oh yeah. Let's try that. Okay. Hopefully that is now dried. I'm not going to test it though. Yeah, it's stuck to some of the thread, which is not a bad thing. Okay. So like I said, I want to make sure that this kind of stays on here. So I'm going to go to this. I'm going to kind of measure down. So I'm going to want the magnet to be basically here. Oops. I want the magnet to be basically here. So there's there. And I want it to be same spot here. So let me, I need chalk. I don't have chalk here. I don't have chalk. All right. So, I guess the easiest thing will be to just grab, oh, this is all messy. I'll just get going. So I want the button there. So let me just put a button there. I'm just gonna find that spot and stick the needle through. What? Ah! It de-threaded itself. Okay. Here we go again. Where are you? Where are you? Okay. Watch. This time it'll go through immediately. Oh, it should, but it's not. That go through? Yay, that went through. All right. So yeah, so we'll twist that a bit and pull it. Yeah, we need to redo that. Okay. So, repeating. Need to go down that far. We need it to be there. Move it up a little bit more. Okay. So I want it right where my thumb is. Come on. Okay. Let's check. I need to go over a little bit. So not quite there, but instead here. Okay, up. And is that a good distance down? Yes, okay. Pull that through, should catch, good. Grab our button. Thread it through. Okay, button's in place. So now we need to figure out where to position. So that's still over some, so I want to make sure I'm more like, yeah. So we're going to make sure that button is there, and then how far down? That's fine. So that's going to be the upper right, basically, as we're looking at it now. Oh, wait. It's actually there. I'm trying to pull it taut. Okay. It's tough when it's flopping all over the place. Okay. There we go. Now we stab down there. Pull through. Okay. And now it should be, I mean, obviously it's not entirely taut, but now we have an idea where to go. So now we're going to go back in, poke through, It's so stretchy that it tends to bulge in annoying ways. That's what she said. Okay, let me just hold it in place. And then push it. Nope, not there. Yeah, come on. Nope, not there. Come on. I know where you are. I know where I want you to be. But it's just not finding that. No, I don't want you there. I want you down there. No. 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 Why can't I find... That's there. I want to go down just a little bit. And it's like, there we go. Jeez. It just didn't exist anymore. Okay. And then go in here. Pull that out. That's weird. Whoa, what's going on? No. Why is that out so far? It should be taut up to this spot. Okay, well. That's bizarre, but it's holding. And that's what I care about now. You go back in here. No. In here. Yep. Go in there. And then loop back around. We'll definitely have enough thread. That's good. Yeah, that thing flopping around is no fun. But there's not much I can do about it at the moment. I just want to go through that hole there. I'm going to go into that hole. But I can't find it with this needle. Nope, not there. There. That's an interesting skill. Figuring out where that hole is. And then we'll go here. We'll go up from here. Yep. I think I'll do a total of 2 more here. Maybe 1 more. How many do we have so far? Can I count? I think this is our 3rd on each, so I'll do a 4th. Do 1 here. Yep. Okay. And then there, that goes here. So I may not do the other badge. I may just do this one epaulette and be content with tonight's status, tonight's progress. Not there. Over here, over into that hole there. There we are. Sorry, difficult time keeping this on frame. And this goes down into here. Okay. And then we will, as before, run this through a few times. Just to give it some extra security. goes through. Oh, come on. Doesn't want to do that. All right. Do it over here. Man. As stretchy as this fabric is, sometimes it just does not want to be stretchy. Okay. Pull that through. Oop. There. Okay. And then we cut it. All right. So there's our button, and we can actually cut off some of that. All right. So there's our thing, and there's our button. Good. So let's grab our washers. This is not an endorsement, one way or the other. Oops. And we're just going to pop a little bit of super glue onto here in, I think, maybe 3 spots. We'll do 4 very small applications of the glue. This is a gel type, which is very convenient for these sorts of things. I'm just going to pop that on there, press it down, hope it doesn't go off too much, or goop around much. There we go. We're just pressing that down, let that dry. Meanwhile, we can pull out our magnets. Hopefully these are, yep, good. These are quite strong magnets. I'll be careful here. I'm going to go ahead and... So there we go. Put these over here around some books where they're not going to demagnetize anything. And like I said, we'll wait a few moments for that to dry. And let's go ahead and pull back out our camera. Ooh, yeah, look at all this stuff. Okay, so like I said, a few minutes for that to dry. And I can clean up a bit. Some things. Actually, not much to clean up. Let me check on these things. A little bit of work there. That seems happy. Good. Okay. Finish up our tea, because tea is awesome. Tea is indeed awesome. Let's just wash down the last of that. Yum. All right. So I'm a little. Does it say in seconds? And I've had things still break off, but well, it does bond skin and eyes in seconds. That's the difference. Like it will bond these, but not necessarily plastic to metal immediately. But we'll give it a few more minutes, and then we will throw our magnet on there. Let me pull off one magnet. Okay. The other question will be whether it makes more sense to have these magnets on and then put the armor on, or put it on when it's kind of floppy and then affix the magnets. That might be easier. We'll see. How are we doing on that? All right, that seems pretty bonded. All right, moment of truth. This goes on like this. That's there. Better that way or that way? That's pretty so. That's working. That works really well. It's a pretty weak bond, though. Like, I was hoping this would be more firm. I'm not sure if that's because of the washers. Like, it's a thin washer. Let me see here. If I had 2 washers, how firm is that? It's pretty firm on... Was it firm on 1 washer? firm on one washer. 2 washers together. Feels firmer than with just 1 washer. About the same. I can always try gluing another washer onto there. But, point being, because I'd rather not be running around a con and then brush into somebody and like 3 of these magnets pop off. That would kind of suck. But, this works. It works. All right, let's try it. Put it on. And I'll put it on with the magnet on there, just to get a sense of how, okay, yep, that popped right off. That's worrying. I may need stronger magnets too, like bigger magnets, or even bigger washers. Okay. As you can see, this is flopping all around. This is what I wanted to avoid, is having this kind of weirdness here. But I'm hoping, and this is, okay. Oh, that's, okay. So there's, I need to make sure my shirt is, that's weird. The seam is actually on the top. Huh. Okay, so, weird. But there we go. So I thought when I was wearing this that the seam was further down, but it seems to be more on the top. So I may have to readjust this. But let's go ahead and move around a little bit. Do that there. Do some adjustments. Do that. Point. Jumping jacks. It's still on there. Cool, that's a success. You know, normal operation. So if I do this, yeah, it pops off. And it disappears into the thin. There we go. I gotta be careful of that, because that could be problematic. But otherwise, it pretty much just goes there. So yeah, it's a bit too. It's a bit too low down. I have to reposition it. Interesting. That seam is on the top. Okay. So cool. So I know what I'm doing now. So now I can go in and play around. So we've learned that. Cool. And then, like I said, the other badges will just go down here in this more or less in just a pattern. So we'll just go all the way down the shirt, just overlapping, and we'll have our armor. So cool. So thank you all very much for following along as I experimented with this on my armor. I probably will not do this live for the rest of it. You'll just be watching me sewing badges onto this shirt. But at least we have a good idea of what we have and where we're going. And hopefully, sometime soon, I will have this set of armor all ready to go. So again, thank you all very much, and I will see you next time on Workshop Wednesday.